This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, degenerates. This is the Doc, John Macaroon, joining me, my guy Phil, coming off a great week where he told you, look, I don't care if half the Piston lineup is not playing. OKC, the trend is showing that they're not going to perform, and you were nervous, you were gripping after the show. You're like, dude, I know I did the research, and I know OKC is playing so bad, but I didn't really get a chance to do the full research, which entailed knowing who exactly was going to play for the Pistons. Could have been a disastrous move for the DSP Nation. But in essence, you were right, because on air, I listened back, you said, John, really, I don't even care if you and I went out there. OKC is so bad that they're going to lose by 10 points no matter if Dwayne Casey and some guy off the street that they just picked up, they could have picked up, the chump off the street, and they would have defeated OKC. And it happened, put some money down, and you helped everybody out. So thank you very much. Pistons -3 last week against OKC, and they've been playing well. And like I texted you, I said, bro, I've been watching the Pistons. They're kind of hustling. And even though they didn't play that well against San Antonio, I felt like that was probably the easiest bet you could have probably made in 2021. Coming off of a back-to-back, the announcement that Jeremy Grant wasn't going to be there, and you're seeing it. The Pistons are sitting a lot of people. So It was an amazing opportunity to make some money if you were able to take advantage and know the back-to-backs, know the NBA, know it's almost a guaranteed bet if you bet bet against the team playing on a back-to-back on the road. Are you kidding me, dude? That was an easy bet.
Yeah, what's funny? I actually looked at them this past Monday because Cleveland was only spotting them 3, and I'm like, they're starting on them young kids again. I'm like, Cleveland's not that bad, especially with Love being back. I'm like, this should be an all right spot to go ahead and jump on Cleveland right here. Wrong. Pistons come out 37-9 in the first quarter. I'm like, Sadiq Bey went 6 for 6 from three-point land. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, how bad is Cleveland? Like, Cleveland made it close, but I ended up losing on that bet. So yeah, these young kids, Sadiq Bey, man, they're hustling, dude. I mean, that's what you want, man.
I'm curious, what do you think of the signing of Tyler Cook? Because of the fact he's come in and dude's making some threes. Tell me your scouting report. What do you think, and what does it mean for the Pistons?
You know what, like I said, they've got a bunch of young talent, man. I really like what this new regime's trying to do, like where their focus is. I know Casey's not completely on board with them, like sitting all their starters, but these young kids, man, they're looking good, dude. They seem to be playing really well together. So I like what I'm seeing, man. I mean, I hope, hopefully they can get something in this draft. They can make a good pick here. I mean, it's been a while since we've utilized our picks in the best way, but shit, if they do something right here in this draft, man, the future looks like it could be pretty bright in a couple of years for this team, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I know last week we talked about the Detroit Lions and the betting and the over-under on the win total, looking at the division, everything. The Pistons, though, if you look at it, do you believe in tanking? Do you think that this is a bad thing that they're kind of racking up wins? Because from the picks 1 through 4, there's some solid talent. And then when you get further down in the draft, you're taking more of a gamble. Do you believe in tanking at this moment in time in regards to the Pistons and trying to get the best spot for them?
You know what? Unfortunately, you have to you have to take what's given to you. I mean, granted, the lottery helps a little bit, but I mean, I don't really, it hasn't shown enough to where the team with the most balls in the lottery doesn't get the pick. So I would, from a organizational perspective, I would absolutely try and give some of these games away, especially since they're not meaningful. I understand Dwayne Casey, they're meaningful to him for his job, et cetera. But from the organization standpoint, that draft capital is way more important, man. Especially if I mean, this is the problem we've gotten ourselves into in some recent situations. Is like, we've got these middling picks in the beginning of the first round, and what's really come of it? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be against it. I mean, you got to sort of play the system to your advantage. I know it's shitty, but it is what it is. You got to, you want to try and make the best moves to put yourself in a spot to win.
So right now, Pistons sit at 18-42, 300 win percentage, 2.5 games behind the first place team of Houston at 15-44. But right behind them is Orlando, Oklahoma City, and Cleveland, respectively. Orlando's got 18 wins, Oklahoma City 20, Cleveland 21. So you go on a little heater here, and you could find yourself sitting at 6th. So keep it going, and unfortunately, people are injured and they're doing the right thing. But unfortunately, the other teams are doing the same thing. Oklahoma City rested more people.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, look, Orlando's been getting blown out, except for, I mean, minus that win this past Monday against Chicago. God only knows how that happened, but I mean, for the most part, everybody's doing the same thing. So, I mean, if the Pistons are going to go out and try, like, all they're doing is just basically hurting themselves. Like you said, you understand it from one perspective, but your goal is, you're not going to win a championship this year. You're not going to make the playoffs. Why wouldn't you give yourself an opportunity to better your organization down the road? I mean, I know there's some short-term goals, but you got to start looking long-term now, especially given the fact that the season's basically done. So,
okay. And you said at the start of the week, you had a little bit of success putting some things together. Have the parlays hit in regards to in-game stuff, trying to figure out which NBA players are going to put up what kind of performances?
Yeah, like I said, I had a good week last week, and then I sort of hit the skids this week again. I'm back. I'm still up from where it was, but it's been a little choppy. Like, I looked last night and I seen AD was back, and I seen Drummond. Drummond was at plus 448 or 45 for a double.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I looked at it. I'm like, has he been playing that bad? And unfortunately, I didn't do enough research. Dude, he had fucking 15 and 19. Like, just imagine putting 100 on that, dude. Getting 500 back. I mean, I'm kicking myself in the ass. I'm like, dude, because I know, like, Dallas, Porzingis is good, but like, Porzingis is soft. He's not like a true big man. He's like that. He's like that. He plays center, but he's more of like that stretch four. You know what I mean? Like, he's lanky, and he can shoot the three, but. I'm really kicking myself in the ass for that one, man.
Phil, scared money don't make money. Let me tell you. Let me look at your process here. So you see Andre Drummond, the former Detroit Piston, and he went to Cleveland, and obviously he got bought out, so he kind of got himself a nice fat paycheck, and now he goes to the Los Angeles Lakers. You see it in your mind. Doesn't that automatically trigger the process where you look at the last 5 games, look at his previous performances against Dallas, what he could do, the trends over the season? You didn't go through that process once you see it? It didn't hit you to bet it?
No, dude, I'll level with you. I looked at it at like 9:45, so I literally had 15 minutes. I was checking some. Yeah, if I would have checked it earlier in the day, like, it would have probably been a different story. But I'm in a process now of, like, I got some things I'm trying to put together through writing a little computer program to track some rolling averages and stuff. I'm getting a little better at this coding shit, so I'm hoping to have everything cleared up and straightened away in the next couple months here for football and basketball season next year, where I can like a little more accurately follow all the trends and whatnot in who's doing what. The code's actually pretty easy. I just gotta get it. I gotta see if I can get it to execute properly as well.
Gotcha. See, I think you should have the same procedure where if you're going to go online and look at odds, you got to have another site up ready to do some research, NBA stats, and you got to streamline it to be like a 10-minute process where you look and you get everything, you get the stats, you get the trends of the last 5 games. It shouldn't take you that long, right? On average, when you start doing your research, what is the amount of time that you put in before you decide to make a bet?
Well, dude, like literally just the process you outlined, you would think it would be super quick. It's not, man. You gotta, especially if you're gonna do the player props. Player props are actually the ones that are the most tedious because you want to go ahead and you want to eliminate recency bias. So taking a few games into account isn't really going to play. You want to take a look at the, like you said, last 5, last 7, last 10 trends. But then you want to then you got to go ahead and sort of take a look at what the team they're playing's been doing as well and how they're defending. So, dude, that shit can easily. I've literally looked up and spent at least half hour, 40 minutes just looking at one guy. So it's not like that. That's the problem with the player prop. Like the game, the scoring trends between teams and the spreads and the over unders. That's a little easier because you can just go ahead and like review their last few games and see who they're doing. I mean, but that can still take 15 or 20 minutes just looking at one team, So, like, it's. I'll be honest. If you can learn how to computer program right now, just in all aspects of life, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Especially with shit like this, dude.
Yeah.
These rolling averages are they're so crucial to determining how you want to wager and what you want to wager. Like, I'll tell you right now, I'll take a look at Drummond Saturday because they're playing Dallas again. And if I guarantee he won't be no plus 440. I can guarantee that. He'll be down. If they don't drop him down to plus 2.25, shit, he might even get all the way down to just plus 100, especially after that game. Like, even with AD back. I mean, AD wasn't nothing spectacular, but, just given that matchup, so something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, now, to turn to me, I did a little research. I listened to a couple podcasts. I saw the buildup. I thought it was easy money to bet against Ben Askren. I said, you know what? This dude is not coming in with the right attitude. I feel like he could be coming into this with the attitude of, I'm just coming for a payday, quick couple $100,000, get in, get out, where you looked at it and you say, Jake Paul is taking this shit seriously. The fact is, he's the individual right now who's most profiting off of fighting these guys that don't take him seriously. Now, he could step up in competition if he's starting to look at Floyd Mayweather, Daniel Cormier. I think he needs to pump the brakes and keep taking these cupcakes.
Yeah.
But I looked at it, made a quick $50 bet, so I'm doing well. The numbers are good, and the blessing is, thank you for the free bet where you crushed the over, where the Pistons played Washington, and boom, got a quick $25 there. So a good week for me as well, just a couple bets, but I thought the Jake Paul fiasco was crazy in regards to those that were really excited on Ben Askren. I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, the research says that Ben really was more of a wrestler, kind of is, not really taking this seriously, kind of came in a little bit cocky, whereas you see Jake Paul, I always liked it, even on a basic term, I like the bigger guy with the longer reach. In boxing, it's about reach, it's about length, it's about what you've been doing. And I thought that the numbers matched up pretty well to make a bet on Jake Paul. But what do you make of this phenomenon that this individual has come into this boxing world? I don't think he's saving boxing. What I think he's doing is opening up and creating a brand new market in celebrity boxing, where now there's an avenue where these washed up people with a name, if they get themselves in reasonable shape, they can fight each other or they can make noise and get themselves in the ring. And hell, even Mike Tyson at 50 years old was still, considering other opportunities as well in the fight game. So celebrity boxing might have a new role in today's society, in today's landscape, and hell, put some action on it.
You know what? You said it best though. If they're reasonably in shape, did you see what Askren looked at the weigh-in?
Dude,
no offense. There's no way he would never ever have come into a fight, an MMA fight in that shape. Whatever, dude. I mean, it's good for him. He made some money, but you can't tell me he took it seriously. Just seeing that weigh-in picture, anybody that bet on Askren, I don't understand how, dude. I mean, we talked about it before with McGregor against Poirier earlier this year. If you don't put in the work, you have no chance, man. I don't care how good you are or how technical you are. Like you said, Askren was a pretty good fighter. I mean, the knockout by Masvidal pretty much derailed his career. But if you look at everything, like he looked like shit, dude. He had the dad bod.
That's all you got to do is pay attention. Yeah, you got to pay attention to the fact of what's going on if you're making these bets. But yeah, I felt like there was a good informational overload, and thank goodness that, okay, I'll ask you this. Do you think he took a dive and bet? I think there were whispers. I don't know if it was confirmed, but there were whispers that Askren bet against himself. Now imagine doing that, go in there and you say, okay, I could take, take my purse, find somebody. Let's say it's going to be roughly $300K that he got to show up in there. Let's say you take half of it and say, okay, spread it around to a couple people, and you go, everybody bet $15K against me. Boom. You end up almost probably doubling your money just to take a punch. And it's unfortunate.
I mean, because that punch wasn't nothing magical. I've seen it, dude. I mean, now, granted, I don't know how hard that kid hits. Because I mean, he only fought I seen him fight Nate Robinson, but he was way bigger than Nate Robinson, and he looked like he was in better shape. So he looked like he's in pretty good shape. But I mean, dude, Ben's taken a lot worse, especially without those gloves on. I mean, how hard could he have really hit him? You know what I mean? I can't. We can only speculate, but I mean, the stumble, he sold the stumble. If he was legitimately hurt, he sold that stumble pretty well. If he wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those scenarios where you look at it and you say, man, I mean, don't you have pride? This is somebody that's not in your field, So it's
dude.
Wild.
It's all about the dollar bill. It's all about the dollar bill recently. That's all everybody's worried about, dude. So I mean, he got his dollar bills, man. That's all he wants.
Yeah, understood. Now you would think that Jake Paul would be a drastic underdog against Floyd Mayweather or against Daniel Cormier.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mayweather is not going to take it easy. And I know Paul's bigger than him, but Mayweather will beat his ass, dude. That's not even a question. This is once again getting into the bullshit with Mayweather and McGregor. Mayweather will beat that kid's ass, dude. It will not go that long.
Now, in similar fashion, right, Logan's his brother. He has signed to fight Floyd Mayweather, and that's going to be another spectacle. But this one is going to be probably an easy money maker for Floyd Mayweather, right? Would you consider all in Floyd Mayweather? I mean, I'm going all in. I think I would be willing to put $300 down on Floyd Mayweather to take down Logan Paul. But is it going to be minus 250, plus 250, like it was in the Dustin Poirier?
The odds should be way worse, dude. I mean, they should be way worse in favor of McGregor. That's the thing. You're not. I can't see it just being minus 2. Dude, if all you got to do is bet 250 to win 100, I mean.
Yeah. So you're looking at maybe negative 500, negative 600, maybe negative 1,000.
Yeah, somewhere in that range for sure, man. It's you can't put these kids who don't have the years of training, the technical experience against a guy that was doing it all.
Right. Right.
I don't care how old he is, man.
Exactly.
Dude, that experience, everybody's got that one punch chance, but Mayweather's always avoided that. So what are you looking for then?
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other bit of news which might generate buzz is Logan Paul says that a fight with his brother would probably be one of the highest grossing pay-per-views of all time. And I think so. Where celebrity boxing has gotten with these two guys. I mean, Logan Paul showed up at WrestleMania, at WWE. I mean, these guys have put themselves in the place via the social media atmosphere that despite it being a freak show, they got so many followers, they generate so many buys. I mean, I've never read so many, oh my God, I can't believe I paid for it. I can't believe I paid $50 online for this fight. I can't believe I did this. I'm like, first of all, it doesn't really take a lot of research to find a stream that you don't really got to pay for. I mean, it takes a question on Twitter or a question on Google, and you could find these fights. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but if you go to YouTube, there's plenty of people that just buy it themselves and they tape it for their friends. You know what I mean? They can't get to all of them. So it's not hard to enjoy some entertainment without paying the cost. And so I get it nowadays with COVID, 10 people are not getting together and dropping the $5. But I mean, if you're going to pay for it, you just got to enjoy it. The freak show that it was. I mean, I thought the slap fight was a little bit more entertaining than the boxing. I could not stop watching these two dudes slapping each other. I was like, you know what? I could watch this.
What is everyone really expecting when you buy that pay-per-view?
Right, exactly.
Are you expecting top not like I'll level with you. I haven't watched any sort of like MMA pay-per-view in years just because I really haven't felt anything that's been put out within the last few years has been worth the shit. So, I mean, I might have been interested. I wasn't even interested in watching. I can't think. Why can't I? Izzy Adesanya. Like, I just thought that he, especially after I seen him at the weigh-in, like I was looking at getting that pay-per-view because like he's pretty special. But I'm like, there's no fucking way he's going to keep up with Blachowicz at that size. Like, it's surprisingly, well, I mean, it's not surprised that Blachowicz won. So, like, you've got to really, like, take a look and, like, think about it for a second. What are you expecting to get when you buy this shit? If you're just in there looking to waste $50 and watch some dumb shit, that's all you can hope for, dude. I'm not going to see a real fight. I'm not expecting to see a real fight and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So, wild stuff all the way around. And you look at it and you say, man, people are getting hustled left and right. And some people are just happy to do it. So,
yeah, you know what? Hey, it is what it is, man. Everybody's got a little bit extra money now with all their stimulus money. So they got nothing better to do with this shit.
Yeah, so that's where we're at with it. Now, I want to do a report on the state of gaming in Michigan. Bro, it's bigger than even we expected. I mean, I knew it's big. That's why I started this last year, but then COVID slowed everything down when everybody, remember that when they announced that gaming was and gambling was going to be legal, it was only brick and mortar. You couldn't do it from your phone. And then COVID hit right when the NCAA tournament started in 2020, so it put a huge pause on everything. So everybody really was just patiently waiting for the ability to gamble on your phone. And so according to the Detroit News, this is where I pulled it up, already the state of Michigan is approaching $1 billion in lifetime handle from online and retail sports betting, according to PlayMichigan.com. With nearly $1 billion in lifetime bets, it's hard to overstate just how unprecedented Michigan's gaming expansion has been so far. Dustin Goiker, an analyst for PlayMichigan.com, said in a statement, the growth in online casino gaming has been off the charts. No other state has enjoyed a launch of online casino gaming and sports betting quite like this. Sportsbooks collected $384 million from both online and retail sports betting in March, up 18% nearly from February, according to PlayMichigan.com. So the taxes, oh my God. In March, 88.7 million, 19 million going to, taxes. Wait, taxes tied to online gaming are based on adjusted gross receipts. So 88.7 million and 19 million. You believe that for sports betting and internet gaming? So, the money that's coming in, the tax revenue that potentially is now being infused can go to public schools, the roads, funding the police, things like that. So even though you're not hearing yet of devastating stories, maybe those are staying hidden or not being reported so heavily, the numbers that are coming in really are helping the economy. But that number is huge, bro. $1 billion in less than a year?
Oh, I totally am not like fazed or surprised at all by that number, man. You remember when the casinos open up around here? You remember when the poker rooms open up around here? Like it's done. Those were booms, man. You couldn't get into a poker room. You couldn't get a seat. Like everything was packed. It's just, let's be honest. What do we have to do from the end of November till the end of February, beginning of March? There ain't a whole lot to do around here, dude, unless you want to go outside and go skiing, go on the snow, etc. So people are going to find a way to try and use their time. Idle hands are the devil's playpen, man.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, here we go. Like I said, Michigan loves to put down. I mean, look, the Facebook group, there's going to be another podcast launching from Detroit Sports Bettors. All the major people are getting it, and they're getting it from both sides. I mean, one dude, give him credit. He left sports radio and is getting a TV show at 11:30 p.m. on a Sunday from FanDuel, and then is doing a podcast with DraftKings. So he's getting it from both ends. The money's there. We get emails all the time in regards to getting links and stuff like that. It's more of the affiliate variety, which I don't really like. I like to have a straight deal. So we'll see about looking at some of these gaming sites, because a lot of them are putting it. I mean, we're not even talking about the big ones. Like you hear Play Michigan, Bet MGM. You see the other ones, Bet Rivers. They are putting money into the atmosphere because of the fact that the return is so high. So we're going to keep tracking it. Stay with Detroit Sports Podcast as we break the news and explore the world of sports gambling and betting. And now, with our last 5 minutes, anything that has caught your attention, give the people an opportunity to make some money just like you. I mean, don't hog it all for yourself. I know you're rolling in the dough. It feels like I'm going to code, I'm going to create things. Help the average bettor that's putting down $50 a week and getting their ass handed to them. Give them a win this week, Phil.
What did we just talk about earlier in this earlier on the phone? I jumped on it last night at 9. I think I got it at 9 or 9.5. The Wizards play the Thunder.
When tonight on Friday?
Yep, Friday night. They play them Friday night. They're -10.
Wizards -10.
That should be an easy cover.
Really? 10.
Yep. I'm telling you, dude. Hey, go ahead, do the research. I don't even have to do the research off the top of my head. The closest game that OKC had was that game against Detroit last Friday, and Detroit still ended up winning, I believe it was 10. So the Wizards are close. They still got some hope to get in that playing tournament. So like you said, 10 should be an easy cover. And then you were talking about earlier, who's got the worst record in the league? The Rockets. And the Clippers definitely got something to play for. They're spotting 10. I know the Clippers are on the road, but once again, 10 should be a cover. I want to take a look and see if Kawhi's playing, see if anybody, because Paul George has been on fire. But I know these numbers are big, but these teams are both bad, and they're not looking to get any better right now. So I know 10's a lot, but I might even do a little parlay action where I bet them both individually and then parlay them together on those spreads and put a bet in. So
okay, you got $1 million on hand?
Shit, I wish.
You know why? No, I got a question. This is a lock. It's a lock, but would you do it, and would sportsbooks accept it, or would you have to do a lot of work? I saw a tweet from Darren Rovell, and it said a bet has been made for $1 million that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number one pick. Do you know what that yields at -1,000 or -10,000? $10,000. So you got to bet $1 million to bring back $10,000 on a -10,000 that Trevor Lawrence is the number one pick. It's a lock. It's gonna happen.
It's a lock.
So
yeah, it's a lock. I mean, if you have the money, why wouldn't you? Like, you can put that shit in the bank. Not one of those quarterbacks has the upside or has shown what he's shown. I don't know why Justin Fields is even being talked about in the top 3. That boggles my fucking mind. I will say this. I've been saying it since October. I watched his games. He is another Ohio State quarterback. He makes poor decisions. If he goes in the top 3, it's a waste of a pick. Trevor Lawrence has all the mechanics. He seems to have the right attitude, the right mindset. Shit, he already made a donation to the city of Jacksonville. He's already trying to ingratiate himself. I absolutely. I know it's a lot to put out there, but you can guarantee that he's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you could donate it all to charity. Just drop $5. If you got $1 billion, drop $5 million. I mean, drop $10 million. You're going to make $100K. Drop $10 million. Just take $10 million, put it down, spread it across 10 casinos, and boom. But I mean, do books look at stuff like that in that manner and say, okay?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. That's how the lines move, dude.
Yeah.
Whenever they see action, like the lines will move. That's why these people try and wait till the very last minute. Like you saw with that big ass bet on the Bucks last year. That shit came in just a few days before just a few days before the Super Bowl. They try and do that so that they don't create too much volatility in the market, and they don't want the line to move.
Got it. Yeah, that's interesting. So you got a calculator real quick?
Yeah. So give me one.
Yeah. So how much is $100 on Trevor Lawrence getting? You get less, like what, 5 cents? You get a nickel.
So what 10,000?
So they got $1 million gets you 10K.
Here. All right, hold on. You'd get, I believe, 10 cents back. You have to get, no, I'm sorry. No, you get a penny back if you bet $100.
Well, Phil can never be broke, baby. So that means my bankroll gets me 3 cents if I bet it all, baby. If I bet 3.5 cents back in the coffers for Trevor Lawrence. Baby. Yep. Yeah. No, I think it's gonna start crazy with Zach Wilson, because if he doesn't get the opportunity, then some people could lose a lot of money. Very good stuff, sir. That was really entertaining. I always enjoy the opportunity to talk some gambling and some sports with Phil. Make sure you follow the network at Detroit Podcast and have fun. Bet responsibly. If you have a good winning ticket, let us know. Share it. Let us in. Give us some advice as well. Phil's play of the week: Washington -10 tonight. Get in as much as you can. OKC is tanking, and
take the Clippers too.
Take the Clippers too, and parlay it and see what you can do. Thanks, Phil.
All right, brother. Be good.